You know, it's been 5 years since we did the show, but it's amazing of all the people that are still really interested in it. We do a lot of autographs, sign a lot of autographs. Just like today, we're here at the Bass Pro Shop, and we're signing a lot of autographs. People are excited about it. It doesn't matter where we go. Everywhere any of us go, people ask us about it, and they want to know why we're not doing another episode. But it doesn't matter whether we're at the Gold Show or at the Bass Pro Shop, or even at the schools. We do the schools and teach people how to pan. They're all excited. They've seen the show. So many people see it and want to know why. We're not doing another episode from it. But it's everywhere. Everybody still loves it. Everybody I talk to is excited about it.
Which would be
northwest. Yeah, why in the book is it set up like this? And it's
Frank,
exactly the same.
just listen to what I'm saying here. Listen to what I'm saying. Put it back up. If you take that and you do that and you put this here, that's him trying to tell you what this measurement would be, what his number of measurements would be. That's all I can tell you. It has to be right around this corner. Then
so as usual, you go home and you spend time at home and you take these maps and you pull them out, and after you've been home from the trip, and then you kind of get a little itch and you're like, okay, I want to go back through things, and you start looking things. Fortunately, we film our stuff, and while the rest of you are watching for entertainment, I'll take that and the footage you don't see, and I will sit back and just keep going through it with the sound down. And I will just look at everything that's going on and just see what hits me, looking at the landscape behind us and whatnot. But then you suddenly are looking at the maps and and then you're like, oh, I think I know what this means. Doesn't always mean you're right, but yeah, when you're sitting around, that does occur to you, and so then you want to go back out and check what you think your findings are with things. I'd always like to make sure people understand, and I think Frank shares in this. We don't always adhere to the rule in agreement, but you should always do things scientifically. Look at it and say, well, this is what I think this could be, and then take it and say, I'm going to do everything to disprove that that's what that means. And you want to go at it scientifically. You got to find a way to say, okay, this is definitely what it means. If there's doubts, if there's problems with it, then you don't have to throw it away, but you have to put it to the side till it has more supporting evidence. So in this case, it's back to the mountains, back looking at things. What does this symbol mean? Are we right? And as usual, Frank and I are probably disagreeing on what the symbol means.
And we know it's not feet, because they wouldn't have stood in the road and done 4 feet or 4 yards, right? It's not going to be 12, because that wouldn't make sense going 1, right?
Yeah. So I was looking at the spring, and we'd always taken in mind freshwater spring or some sort of seepage, or during the rainy season it could be an active spring, or it was a water source of where you could find water, which are all different interpretations. And then I came up with the idea, what if the spring is a place where water runs through, and it's a pipe that works its way through the road or somewhere where it's diverting water off. Maybe it's a place that channels water, so the spring is not necessarily a spring, but it's actually the corrugated pipe which has the circular pattern that would run under the road. Why don't we check those and see if that's a starting point or specific point? I think other people have kind of had the same idea, because I realized we found that number of people, someone was particularly interested afterwards, after we'd done the videos of some of this stuff, being in certain specific areas. I wondered if that was part of it too, but it seemed like a possibility. I mean, I couldn't tell you 100%, but it seemed worthwhile to go back, do the step-off things, measure things, see if I could find something that would correlate on the maps with that.
Now you see the pipe? pipe, I think, works with that. So we're talking a pipe coming through, and then we're looking at north. So we have to be looking up through here. But we don't have the measurement of the distance, but we have to look for that. So that's why I think the pipe is right on the money.
My Frank's disappeared.
Well, no, I want to get up around the corner, but I don't want to pass anything up, because cross, tombstone, marker, you know?
I don't think it's tombstone or
I'm
marker.
thinking since everything's been pretty obvious, it would be more obvious. But I don't want to pass something by.
Okay. Yeah?
Does that look natural?
A pile of rocks?
Does that look natural?
Not really.
From where you're
I don't know.
standing, you go 30 something up here. That pile of rocks look natural down there?
This don't look natural. It because there are all kinds of different rocks. See, this is natural. You got similar rocks that have broken off and fallen through here. I'm not. We want something like this,
Yeah, soft.
where they could have dug. We're up from the road, but we want to be this way.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean he had to be perfectly on, but this is almost a straight shot up.
There.
And I'm going to go up that way. It's got to, seems like it's kind of
What
the
is that
obvious-
over there? It's like a little stick thing sticking out.
That's the fence.
So there's a fence there?
Yeah, see the fence? Barbed wire fence right
Now,
there.
how far would you say from here to the road?
50 yards? $40 yards or so? I don't know. I'd be thinking if everything we're doing is right, I would think up in here. It just doesn't look like, where the heck are you going to dig up here? Because you'd want to find a spot like this, Frank. You know, where there's some softer dirt.
Yeah, but he has that dog leg going 30 feet.
I'm agreeing. No, I'm saying, but this is what we're looking for. It has to be over that way. Yeah, it's just. This has been there, but you can't cross the fence. So it has to be somewhere in here because of the fence line, if that's the right pipe, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be in here. I'm wondering this spot here.
Hmm.
That, and then we have to go 12. So 4, I think, once you're at the cross, you go 4 back, is the increment. So we have to be.
We see a hill and it seems
I
to
would
fit
say.
within the map. It always is more convincing when we're out there because you're more excited and you're looking for something. And I think the sense of adventure catches you better. Generally, after the fact, you go like, yeah, that was a waste of time climbing that stupid freaking hill. But in the moment, you're looking at it and you're like, hey, this works. Oh, cool, man, let's go up this hill. And but you don't want to leave something uncovered. It's one of the problems where people always go, get a drone. Drone, you're not going to see the ground, you're not going to see the dirt, you're not going to see where someone dug under a rock, you're not going to see a lot of little things. you have to put your feet in motion and climb and walk up there. And it's such a pain in the butt to some degree. But Frank and I cover a lot of ground, and we kind of work our own ways up. But you have to. I mean, it's the only way you can look at each and everything. You find a hill, you got to climb the hill, and you can't just say, well, let's just blow that off. And then later you look up and see someone dug in the side of the hill, and you realize, wow, that was stupid. Why didn't we climb the hill that day?
So there's no way they could dig on top of this, right, Frank?
Well,
Frank?
when you're out treasure hunting, for instance, and you're looking for clues, it might be on a map, and they're natural. Sometimes if you change, like say you're down low, and then you walk up on top of a hill, you're up high, you'll be able to see something that you can't see from down the bottom. So you have to change your viewing perspective so that you can look and try to spot something else. Because we did find a couple things by doing that, if you remember. And there's another ravine coming up.
Yeah, but that's just...
Did you hear me?
See, this is why we need to stick together, because I like the GPS so I can map it out and measure the distances and see if I can work out some of the distances with the maps. But now we're completely separated. The GPS is separated from everything else and the compasses and stuff. So we do got that point, but it would be nice to have this point as well.
So we get up to the spot, and in one of those moments, I know sometimes maybe his blood sugar gets low. But I see the spot, and it's lower level, and the ground appears softer. There's actually some grass there. And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, hold on. Because I'm thinking, we're drinking, we're tired. They were kind of relatively my age, Frank's age, kind of getting in that category. We got to dig some holes and bury some paintings. This is a good spot, because you can dig here. And I really thought it was a good spot to dig. It was everything was like rock and hard, and and this area looks like the ground has been soft. It probably has been turned over again. We've gotten lucky with the Zippo lighter and the buffalo nickel, so you think you'd listen to me once in a while. No, we don't really listen to me. But it is a very intriguing spot because it's kind of a flat, open out spot. If you're standing up there and one guy's digging, the other guy can be looking around, see anybody coming down the road for miles. So it's a good lookout point. It's a good spot. I don't know how well it fits with the map and stuff, but it seemed to correlate some angles, possibility that could be in line with that stuff. And it's definitely an area I think you want to metal detect and turn over with a spade a little.
I wanted to save it so everybody could look. I noticed this because
it already?
I noticed it because I was just testing the dirt. The color was dark brown. It was different than everything else. Look how loose this is.
Yeah, there's a few places like that, though. How long ago has it been dug? Well, that's why you don't disturb it.
I had testing the dirt. And they're going to dig it anyway. Look at that.
One of my problems of being up here is doing this. It had to be a pain in the butt to take all the backfill and put it back in. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be losing most of everything, and it would be, I think you'd end up with like, kind of not a rounded top. You wouldn't be able to refill it.
Hey, look at this. In this spot here,
Well, you'll be right if you hit a pipe.
There, I suspect in that area, people have been digging for years. Somebody knew that was a possible site, and people like to talk, and people go and they'll dig everything out. There's no, usually it's just random, you know, they go and they just start digging here and digging there. There's no reason to it. Just look at one spot. I mean, just because it's down in a wash, there was some loose dirt, so they dug it up. If you're going to bury paintings, for instance, you're not going to put them in a wash because the water eventually is going to destroy it and possibly wash that out and wash it away. Sometimes what happens, you get in a wash and you have areas that are real fine gravel. It was deposited there when the wash was running really strong. Well, the next time it rains real heavy, that dirt could be gone. And anything you buried in it would go with it. See how loose that shit is?
But look at that rock to the left. See the cracks around it? The dirt didn't fill in all the way around it. See what I'm saying? I don't think if someone found it, they're going to fill the hole all the way back in neatly, right?
No.
They're going to do a half-assed job, filling it back in, and just get out of here. So when you do find it, if someone else has already dug the spot out, it's going to be like that spot we found before, where you're going to find it partially already excavated, and they threw some dirt back in, and they said, hell with it, let's just get out of here. Because that's what I would do. I'd push stuff back in and say, you know what, let's just get out of here while the getting's good.
Up in the mountains in Pennsylvania, there was an old inn. And the woman, it was called the Lost Gold Coins of Halfway Hollow. And I found the spot. I found the hole where somebody dug stuff up. They left the hole open and left their tools laying on the ground, just took the gold and left. They just left everything. They didn't bother filling nothing
You
in.
pull out 6 paintings right now. If they were worth $1 million a piece and you just found $6 million, do you care about your shovel and pick anymore? Well, yours we do,
Well,
because
yeah.
it says Augustine on it.
Yeah, here. Wonder who took the painting. Huh?
Actually, that might be the thing to do, is bury it. Ted.
Yeah. Or if I die here, they'll stick us in the ground like this.
But it's, you see what I'm saying is you can see
Yes.
where the dirt is loose around the rocks.
Right.
But it doesn't seem totally natural. But then we're talking 40, 50 years that it should have settled enough. But the water's going to run off, so it's not going to settle and pack too much.
But the other thing here, too, all these snake holes,
Yeah,
or squirrel holes, wherever the hell they are.
snake and squirrels. Well, squirrels make the holes, the snakes take them over.
There's some of these little voids we're finding, these little, it could be these holes going down underneath there.
Yeah, but I'm talking like by the edge of a rock. You're seeing that gap. And you're not finding a hole. Because when you find a hole, when you find a tunnel or something, you'll realize it'll just collapse on
But it's, I mean, it's not wet.
it. No.
I mean, the water's not sinking down in there. And it's just something or somebody had dug this because the brown dirt down in the ground was on top.
Okay, here's the other thing. How big are the pipes? Foot? 2 feet?
6 inches.
How big around are they? Are they big PVC? Or are they smaller PVC? He said 2 paintings per. I would think he wouldn't tightly wound them and put them in this real narrow sprinkler stuff.
And how big are the paintings? Are they little one or are they
That's
big
what I'm
one?
saying. Did they dig a deeper hole, put them in vertically, so it'd be harder to find? You got to hit the right spot, right? To hit the cap.
That's the thought.
Yeah. So there's so many ways they could have dug. They could have dug this big ass hole out, dropped them in, pushed the dirt over, and they're bundled. So we know the 3 tubes are bundled together with duct tape. They would have used like metal. It would have made it so much easier. It's a good spot. It's, again, you're running into that thing. How far do you dig? Does the cross mean this is a crossway where everything crosses? Trevor said that. It kind of join, all the things join in. Is it a crossway? I would think it'd be more than that.
Well, the other thing is, where this ravine and the one over there both go into the same spot. Like you said, the map goes this way.
It goes this way. It's,
So
it's between that point and this edge over here, right in this area.
Yeah, so this spot, like this ravine going up, is more likely candidate than that one. You agree?
Yeah. But you have a very limited amount of spots you can dig.
Right, and then
You're not going to find this over there right now. You're not going to find that spot.
So when you're looking at this ground, and you see something that color and everything else is this color, and then the ground's so loose, it tells you something possibly could be buried there.
And I would think they would bury them at points where you could look up and,
Wait, here.
and pick your point. Yes, that's
If
what
you
I'm
look
saying.
here, if you look from the side over here, that rock on top is wedged in there beautifully, perfectly. Just sitting there
I'm thinking
on
from the
top.
road. He's going to be able to pull up.
Yeah, you can see it from the road.
Well, I can't because you stand in my way all the time. But yeah, if you could look up from the road, the cactus would have been here, but chances are the mesquite wouldn't have been here. So you could look up through here and you could see if someone dug. You'd be able to see this point. I can see the keyhole from here. You can see the boots, Black Cross Butte. So I can see all the points. So okay, this is a perfect spot.
And the keel's looking right at us.
That's what I just said. I already said that. I did. So, and we are northwest. But how big of a spot is it? And did someone else dig this thing out? Yeah, but you got to stand there and do north.
I know,
Yeah.
but you can draw a line north straight down.
That's why I told you before, take the GPS, each spot, take a GPS recording of each spot, give them to me, I'll map them out, and then we'll do the distances.
I did.
Yeah,
I put
that's,
this in.
yeah, on each spot. Once we find one, we can find the others. Even if we have to leave and coordinate, figure out the measurements. Once you find one, everything else will fall into place at this point. We know the directions, we know everything. It's finding one of the spots. I don't know if we should have done this one or the one back behind there because it's closer down in the wash. But what does DFAH mean? Four-letter word down there, wash. That's not going to, if that's what it is, that isn't going to help us because we know
Road.
where the wash is, right?
Road.
Yeah, but it's not going to be on the road.
Yeah, I
It'll be
know.
on the edge of the road, but it'd be
How
still a
about-
wash.
Direction from the heart.
But he's not going to do that. Each section has its own way to encode. So the north, south, east, west is one, and then the other things are another, and then each thing is one. So he wouldn't have the one that would say by the pipe, and then do a four-letter word and do other. The only other one I came up was 9 and 4, but 9 and 4 numbers aren't going to make a difference down there. There's nothing numbers symbolically that link. So I'm thinking pipe. So the other one could mean wash, but we know at this point it's in the wash. The problem we're having is the numbers that tell you whatever the distance is. 4, well, I don't remember what they are, 4, 11, 1. We don't know what those distances mean. We don't know how to, what is he using? Varas? Yards? His own version of measurement?
I would say footsteps. Like.
But this is way too far then. But
No,
how
no,
many
if you're going
how many for
full-
each, how many footsteps equal one hole?
No, I'm not talking about one footstep. I'm talking paces.
Okay, but paces, I mean, we only have 4 to here. So what is this? That's why I want the coordinate. I want to take this to that distance. If we're in the right area, then I should be able to take that and measure everything, correct? Because I would take that distance, divide it by 4, and that would give me the increment amount he was using for direction, for distance, on any other number. But that's our problem, is what is his symbolic reference to a 1 is? Is it how many X amount of feet? Is it every 10 feet is 1? Is it every 10 yards is 1? Is it every 10 paces is 1? Bob Ward, how long was his pace?
No, him is probably up behind that mountain.
Yeah, but he had DeGrazia with him.
But how do we know that?
Because Ted was with him when they buried him. Because Ted was supposed to dig the hole, and Ted said, "I'm hurting too bad today. My back and all. I can't dig the hole." And then Bob Ward said I had to dig the holes, and he said I was worse shape than Ted when we got done. So DeGrazia came up here with him, told him where he wanted him buried up here. When they got up here to dig the holes, because he was supposed to just come up with DeGrazia and be like the watch guy. He was supposed to sit here and watch, make sure nobody saw what they were doing. When they got there, he said Ted said he was in no shape, couldn't do the digging, so Ward ended up doing the digging. So DeGrazia sat here, watched the road, let him know where, okay, yeah, that's a good spot. You dig it here, I'll watch the road. And he watched the road. This is a good spot, because you can see everything that's coming and going.
Yeah, it's an easy walk up to this point.
Well, it wasn't a bad walk. But if they were drinking, are you filming?
Yeah.
You got two basically guys that drank that are older. They had to be in their 50s at that point. 50s or 60s. Hauling a bunch of stuff. Well, okay, talking about kind of me and you now. But they're hauling stuff up here, digging holes. We're not drinking.
Which maybe we should be.
Yeah, maybe
Bring
that's
a
what
bottle
we're...
of Fireball.
We can just recreate it.
Yeah, sit down at the bottom, drink some Fireball, and go, okay, let's go.
But,
If you can make it up there, then
yeah,
a good
everything
spot.
keeps fitting into place. It's what is it we're missing each time? This seems like a perfectly logical spot. And it puts us in a position where we can't release episodes or anything until we figure this out, because we keep giving someone else more and more information by what we're doing. I don't know if we should just push this back in, GPS these, go down there, check that spot a little, and then see what it is we can figure out. When we go home and we're sitting at home looking at the maps, and then it comes to us, oh shit, that's what it is. Because right now, I got nothing. I'm saying this is a great spot, but I don't see how it coordinates right now. I can't. The other thing is, the next trip we bring, I'm going to load up the laptop, bring it down with the mapping system up. Now, we won't have, it won't be totally interactive, it won't be connected, but we'll still be able to measure the distance between the GPS points where we're at. So we'll be able to pull those up each time.
Yeah,
So-
we need shovels first. I'm going to see if there's anything behind this big rock.
Okay, me and Trevor will push this in.
Welcome to the Go Show.
Really? I knew a guy that had these plastered on his walls.
Looking at superstitions for Lost Dutchman. I thought it might be interesting to look at. You want me to take it home?
Yeah.